Well, as always, we like to start with the quarterbacks, and we've got some big-name QBs going down to Mobile next week. Bo Nix and Michael Penix, the two biggest names. Let's start with Bo. The guy's made more starts in college than any other quarterback in history, but I'm assuming he's going to start next week. Might have one more start under his belt here. What are you looking for with Bo Nix? And, a lot of times you don't get the big names, coming down to throw, but Bo Nix, I think, is going to come down and do everything. Is that right?
Well, Steve, we had 7 straight years with a first-round quarterback.
True.
So before last year, we really have had some, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins. Those are some big names. But yeah, Bo's going to do everything. He's actually down here right now in Mobile doing all his QB training with Drake May. Drake May's throwing with him too. So I went out and saw those guys throw the other day. But yeah, I mean, the thing I'd say about Bo, I've seen a lot. He's from the state of Alabama. He's the last guy at the 7A level here in our state, which is the highest level to win back-to-back high school titles. And then we know he went to Auburn and started for a couple years before he went to Eugene. But the most impressive thing to me is just really shedding the bad habits that he developed while he was at Auburn. For quite frankly, behind kind of a leaky offensive line, he broke down mechanically. He broke down in terms of his decision making, and really, for lack of a better term, he had to play a lot of sandlot football. But I think that's going to serve him well. We've seen him do it. He's a really good athlete. I think that's what sometimes gets lost with Bo. I mean, this guy's going to run fast. He can run around. He can make plays, on the run. But then we saw the past 2 years really rein himself in and play more from the pocket. So, yeah, I'm excited to get Bo down here. He and Michael Penix both were two guys at the start of the season that, we had them circled. For us to have a good game, we know that quarterbacks drive the bus. That's what, especially on the media side, you guys want to focus on. So we knew we needed to have both these guys, and we ended up with both. And, we really wanted Jaden Daniels as well. And then after the Heisman, like that thing, I mean, Mel Kiper puts him as the third quarterback. I mean, then the train's down the tracks at that point. So, but we're fired up to get Bo and Michael both here.
How important a week do you think this is for Michael Penix, given the way his season ended? I mean, it was a wild roller coaster ride where after the semifinal of the national, the college football playoffs, we're talking he's QB3, he's going to go top 15, top 10, and then after the national title game itself, Bruce Feldman's out there saying he might not get drafted, he could be in the second round, it could be anywhere. How important is a good week for him to sort of resuscitate his reputation coming off the back of that game?
If that's not the social media draft world in a nutshell, no, what is? So, no, it's a big week for Michael, because I think it's a big week because now the decision makers that haven't seen Michael throw, that's the biggest thing about the Senior Bowl to me, is like these guys have all been scouted. Scouts have been through these schools, but it's the GMs, it's the head coaches. For the quarterbacks, it's the OCs, it's the QB coaches that are down here that haven't seen this guy throw. And he can really hum the football. I think it was 3 summers ago, I saw him at the Manning camp, and I was walking up on the field when Michael was taking a rep, and he just ripped a seam ball, and it like stopped me in my tracks. I was like, whoa. Like, I did not realize, first of all, I didn't know who it was. And I grabbed someone, I'm like, who just threw that one? And they're like, oh, that's the Penix kid from Indiana. So I think he's gonna impress guys with the arm talent for sure. We know he's the best deep ball thrower in the class in terms of downfield accuracy, but he really has a strong arm. Like they're not always tied together, but there was one throw in that Texas game on one of the touchdowns late in the game. Right. It was like on a skinny or something. He just ripped it into coverage. So I think that's going to be big. And, Bruce saying that about not getting drafted and all that, that's all tied to his medical stuff. And
right.
And that's been talked about a lot. I mean, the medical will be scrutinized at the combine and all that, but that has nothing to do with the football player. I mean, what Mike did out there in Washington the last 2 years was really impressive. A lot of good tape, man. A lot of good tape.